Now, I like to keep things simple. There's only two options. There is a God or there isn't. Anybody think of a third? Let me know.
I can think of a third. You're describing monotheism, which is a religion that has one God, but there's obviously polytheistic religions where there's multiple gods, like the Greek or Hindu religions that have an entire pantheon of gods. Also, pantheism, where the universe functions as God and nature itself. I mean, there's lots of other options.
I've divided them a little further into three categories. Atheists say there's no creator. Nobody made this place. Christian says, oh, the God of the Bible is the creator. And then there's a whole bunch of folks who say there's some other God other than the God of the Bible. The Hindus, the pantheists, the Muslims, or not the, yeah, they have a different God, all right?
Atheism is obviously not a religion. Theism is defined as the belief in the existence of a god or gods, so adding the prefix a negates this word and means atheism is literally the opposite of a religion. Kent knows this and is just saying it because he wants to make fun of people that don't share his beliefs. I'm going to read a list of things that qualify something as a religion, and I'll either say if atheism does or doesn't have it unless it requires elaboration. So, number 1, distinct legal existence. Now, some atheist groups are legal entities. Number 2, recognized creed and form of worship. No. Number 3, definite and distinct ecclesiastical government. No. Number 4, formal code of doctrine and discipline. No. Number 5, distinct religious history. No. Number 6, membership not associated with any other church or denomination. Atheists can join any number of atheist groups. Number 7, organization of ordained ministers. No. Number 8, ordained ministers selected after completing prescribed courses of study. Nope. Number 9, literature of its own. No, unless you count the God delusion. Number 10, established places of worship. No. Number 11, regular religious services. No. Number 12, Sunday schools for the religious instruction of the young. No, atheists tend to not indoctrinate their children. Number 13, schools for the preparation of its members. No, there are no atheist schools. So, unequivocally, atheism is not a religion. Also, you mention Islam as having a different God than Christianity. The word Allah is just the Muslim word for God. Islam and Christianity and Judaism are Abrahamic religions, so they essentially worship the same God, except Christians also worship Jesus as the Son of God, or Jehovah. Jews don't. And Muslims think that Jesus was a prophet, but they don't think he was the Son of God. The only reason Kent is saying that Muslims share a different God than him is that he doesn't like Muslims.
So, who's right? Well, first I'm going to tell you what I am, and then we'll get into the whole study of why I believe in certain things and why I think this guy's wrong and this guy's wrong. Okay, I am one who believes there has to be a God to create this amazing universe. I believe that that would mean that he owns it. He made it, belongs to him, that he can make the rules. I believe he wrote a book to tell us about himself. I believe he preserved that book for us today.
So you think there must be a God that created the universe? Why? There just has to be one? It's just you believe that because you believe it? Do you have any justification or evidence for it, or is it just faith? And how do you know that it's your specific God? I know this is kind of a cliche question, but it's still a good one. Just because you create something does not mean you own it. Parents don't own their children, and God did not write the Bible. No other apologist would say this, and apparently God didn't do a very good job of preserving the Bible because there's been books added to it and taken away from it. The preserved version was put out in 1600s and is in English. That doesn't make much sense to me.
There are three classifications of religious belief. There are those who claim to be atheists. There's no creator. The Christian, the God of the Bible, is the creator. That's where I stand. And then the non-Christian religion, some other God, who created the world. Here's the way it stands right now as of 2020. There are about 31% of the world claims the name Christian. About 24.9% claims the name Islam as their religion. Non-religious, agnostic, or atheist, about 15% claim that as their religion. Hindu, about 15% claim to be Hindu.
Well, Kent, I know you think that Mormons, Catholics, and Jehovah's Witnesses aren't real Christians. So with how closely Islam is creeping up on Christianity there, If you take away those numbers, then Islam becomes the #1 religion in the world. Yikes. Also, saying that non-religious are part of a religious category? Nice meme.
I am not an atheist. Why not?
Because you can make more money by pushing your propaganda about young earth creationism, and you never have to update your content, and you can push this on ill-informed people who will donate their life savings to you, and you couldn't possibly make that much money being an atheist. It's simply a fact that religious preachers make a lot more money than atheist activists do. And you need all that money to buy your golf carts that have Porsche engines.
Well, Ruth Bell Graham said it takes more faith to be an atheist than to believe in God. I agree. You got to have a lot of faith to believe there is no God. Now, this British comedian, playwright, and movie producer said atheism isn't a belief system. Saying atheism is a belief system is like saying not skiing is a hobby. I've never been skiing. It's my biggest hobby. I literally do it all the time. Well, that's a cute saying, and atheists use this all the time to claim that evolution is not a religion. But this is loaded with logical fallacies and flaws. Okay, I'll show you.
Evolution is a religion? I thought this video was about atheism and why you're not an atheist. Did you mean to say atheism is a religion? Or is it just because you equivocate atheists and evolutionists as being the same group of people? Yes, it is. Never mind the fact that most evolutionists are Christians and most Christians are evolutionists, but that doesn't fit into your narrative. And saying I don't have enough faith to be an atheist is a cute saying that religious apologists use all the time, but it's literally meaningless. It's just a reversal of what atheists think, that they don't have enough faith to believe in Christianity or other religions, but it really doesn't mean anything. The reason that it doesn't have any meaning is because the phrase, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist, is just a reversal of the positions that atheists have, that they don't have enough faith to be Christians or to be religious. It doesn't take any faith to have an atheist viewpoint because, like he said, it's not a belief system.
Here's a box. It's locked. We can't get in. One person says, I believe there's something in the box. Another person says, I do not believe there's anything in the box. But neither one can know. We don't know. There's a box and it's locked. There are things you simply cannot know about this universe. No human being, you can't possibly know that. So those who claim there's no God who made it are actually teaching a religion.
Is that it? Are you serious? Like, that's your debunk of what Ricky Gervais said? That's got to be one of the worst examples I've ever heard. So, are you saying that you can't know that God exists? I mean, you're the one making the positive claim. Atheists are just saying that they're unconvinced of your claim. And we could pick up the box and shake it around and then hear if there's something inside of it. You know, we could test it. But you can't test whether or not God exists because religion is part of the supernatural, which is outside of the field of science. And even the Bible says that God is not to be put to the test.
One guy told me one time, he said, there's no God. I was in a debate. I said, are you sure? He said, I'm sure. There's no God. I said, well, let me ask you, sir, do you know everything? He said, no. I said, do you know maybe half of everything? He said, no. I said, okay, well, let's pretend for a minute that you know half of everything. Would it be possible then for God to exist in the other half you don't know?
I would say the answer is no, because it simply doesn't make sense for God to exist within knowledge itself, especially knowledge that I don't have. But I'm going to insert a clip of Eric Hovind attempting to ask Thunderfoot this same question at the Reason Rally, but Thunderfoot blocks him from getting to the actual question of, you know, does God exist in the other half?
It's a pointless question. You're asking a question which can never be answered.
Well, let's just suppose we thought, we don't know this, but we thought we had 1% of all the knowledge in the universe. Is it possible, here's my just simple logical question, is it possible out of the 99% that we don't possess, and it's probably more than that, that something could contradict the 1% that we think we do have. Is that a possibility? Would you concede that?
Do you understand that what you've done is just another malformed question, right? You've proposed, well, let's say there is a finite amount of knowledge in the universe. You accept that you proposed that there is a finite amount of knowledge in the universe. I'm giving you answers, it's just you're not understanding them.
Well, no, it's that you can't. Would you be willing to admit that you could be wrong about everything you think you know?
The easiest version of that question is, do you think that reality exists?
Do you think that reality exists? I would say yes, and I have a reason.
We've already
I just
covered
answered. Okay, well, you said it depends on what reality model you're talking about. So, are there different versions of reality?
There don't seem to be.
I'll put the link to this full conversation in the description, although it is pretty mind-numbing listening to Eric Hovind talk. But in case it was confusing about what Thunderfoot was saying, that it's a malformed question, that you can't quantify the amount of information in the universe, or all knowledge in the universe. So you can't take that unquantifiable number and cut it in half, and then say, oh, well, does God exist in the other half? So like he said, it's a completely malformed question, and it's really just a gotcha. So it's impossible to answer, and it's simply a waste of time.